Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining our event today, our InnoBuyer webinar on Open Call for Solvers, in which we will also talk about how to develop innovative solutions aligned with the market real needs. So my name is Miguel Gonçalves from F6S. I will be the host of today's webinar, and jumping right into our agenda for today, after this welcome word that will be shared with Bertrand Wert from the European Innovation Council, I will do a presentation about our InnoBuyer Call for Solvers that is open until the 24th of January to do a summary of it and really invite all SMEs in Europe to apply for it. That presentation will be followed by a roundtable on co-creation of innovative solution, a very special one that will be moderated by Jorge Gonzalez from TIC Biomed, and joining on one side challengers, but also solvers to talk about this endeavor of co-creation of innovation. And after those two sections, the InnoBuyer Call for Solver presentation and the roundtable, we will have a section dedicated to questions and answers. So please, throughout the entire session, don't hesitate to use the Q&A box that you have on Zoom to post your questions, and we will try to answer them at this section of the event. So without further ado, let me pass the word to Bertrand Wert, Innovation Maker and Innovation Procurement Advisor at the European Innovation Council. Bertrand, the floor is yours.
Yes, very good morning, Miguel, and good morning, everyone. I'm trying to light up the light here in the office.
Yes, you are a little bit dark.
But I'm sure it's gonna work. Hopefully, you're gonna see me better in a moment. It's really a pleasure to be with you. First of all, Happy New Year to everyone, to all the team, all the F6S, TIC Biomed, and the others in the team, and also for all the people that are following us. Notably indeed, the important people here, which are the buyers, actually, the public, notably the public or the private buyers that are already involved in the InnoBuyer program. But also for all the potential solvers that are following this presentation and that will have the chance in a moment to ask any question about the InnoBuyer program. I'm Bertrand Wert. I'm working for the European Innovation Council based in Brussels, and we are very happy actually to be involved to support financially the InnoBuyer program. And you know that the aim of this program is to try to bridge the gap in between two parties. On one side, the buyers, public or private, that have specific needs, specific challenges, and on the other side, companies, SMEs, the best European SMEs that can try to support, to feed, to offer new solutions to the buyers. And we are here to try to facilitate and to put money in between these two parties, with your support, Miguel, and the rest of the team. So wish you all the very good luck for all the potential future applicants, and I'm sure today will bring you some more information and light about InnoBuyer program.
Definitely.
Cheers.
Thank you very much, Bertrand. So as a follow-up, what is InnoBuyer, the program for fast track to innovation procurement? Well, as Bertrand said, it brings together organizations with unmet innovation needs that in the context of InnoBuyer, we call them challengers, with innovative SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises that we call solvers. So jointly, in the period of 10 months, with funding support and also monitoring support from the InnoBuyer program team, to co-create new solutions and applying a demand-driven approach. So we are really trying to fix real problems, social problems, and in the same time to speed up the procurement and adoption of innovation. That's the main goal of InnoBuyer. So we currently have the InnoBuyer Call for Solvers that is open until the 24th of January. And there are many benefits for SMEs who want to apply for this call. We are offering grants up to 58,500 euros equity-free to co-create a pilot in 10 months with a public organization, which can then be transformed into a potential customer if the pilot is successful. And it's also an opportunity for SMEs, for innovative companies to validate a new product, a new service that can eventually represent in the future a new business line that can then be sold to many other entities. So it's really a demand-driven funding support, expertise support program that has a lot of benefits, and we will invite many innovative startups to apply. But there are two ways to apply. So as you can see on the left-hand side, we have the InnoBio Ready-Made Challenge. So it means that SMEs can look at the 12 ready-made challenge that we have in InnoBio and apply to tackle one of those challenges and propose the solutions for them. And so if an SME applied to one of these challenges, they will solve one specific challenge with one specific already chosen public organization. So for instance, this is just one example of a challenge that is already proposed by InnoBio with the Delft University of Technology. So if you choose to tackle this challenge, which is the development of a quality management system tool for compliance to the medical device regulation of early stage medical device development, you will be working with the Delft University of Technology. And we have 11 more challenges like this. Another way to apply, and that you can see on the right-hand side, is to apply for the Open Challenge track, let's say that way. This one is only reserved for SMEs that were previously or currently funded by the European Innovation Council. But if you are an SME that previously or currently funded by the European Innovation Council, you can apply for the same program, but with a public organization of your choice. So you may have already in your network a public organization that you think it's a great fit for your innovation expertise that you have, and you would like to develop a pilot with them. Well, you can contact them to apply together as a consortium to the InnoBio Call for Solvers. So this is an excellent opportunity for you to work with the public organization of your choice to apply for this program. And there is also funding available for the challenger side, for the public organization that you will be applying with. So those are the main ways to apply for InnoBio. So I will present in a nutshell and focus on the InnoBio Ready-Made Challenge for a few moments. So I already talked about this challenge here from the Delft University of Technology, but to briefly present you the other challenge that we have made available for you already. We are also working with an hospital in Poland that is looking for a wheelchair system in hospital support to support patients and visitors that is supported by Internet of Things technologies. We are also working with the University of Erasmus for a challenge called Home Run, is looking for a home-based capillary blood sampling device. So they want to innovate in this area. We have another challenge from the Hospital Universitario del Sureste. The challenge is called Perplex, and they want an algorithm to automate the management of resources in the outpatient department of an hospital. Just a parenthesis on this. All the detailed information is available on the InnoBio site. So you have all the requirements for the pilots and the conditions are on the InnoBio site. But I just want to give you here a brief of all the challenge. Next one from Funde Salud. They are looking for an advanced blood transfusion management system. So as you can see, we have many challenge in the health sector. So health companies will take a look at all those challenges that we have here. From the Hospital General Universitario Gregorio Marañón, we have a need for a predictive tool for early detection of delirium in hospitalized patients. So they're really looking for a solution for this challenge that has a high impact in their facilities. Then we have Junta de Andalucía. They are looking for a management tool for the digitalization of their early demand map. So here we are looking for IT companies that can understand the IT world, but also the health world, to propose a solution for this challenge. We have the Hospital Universitario de Getafe. They are looking for an interactive digital environment designed to empower patients and facilitate subcutaneous medication administration at home, from their home. We have the Ayuntamiento de las Rosas. They are looking for a system or a charging points network for electric bikes and scooters in green and natural areas. We have UAB, a public organization that is looking for a predictive eco-driving solution for service electric vehicles to optimize the energy consumption of their fleet of buses. We have the Center of Telecommunications and Technologies of Information with a challenge called AI for Justice. So they want to create an intelligent assistant to support judges in drafting sentences by locating text of previous judgments and jurisprudence. So this is we are coming out of the health sector, going to the law sector here. Then we have DLR, which is the German aerospace agency, with a challenge called Reshape. They are looking for an advanced functional materials and components for urea electrolysis for cost-effective hydrogen and ammonia production. So a very innovative demand here, I would say. And of course, just to remember you, EIC funded companies that were previously or currently funded by the European Innovation Council can submit a proposal for the Open Track Challenge and choose an organization, a public organization of their choice. So how to apply? It's kind of, we really want to make it as paper-free as possible and not complex at all. So in 4 steps, you should go to where all the information is, to innovaya.eu/solvers. You have a lot of information there about the challenges, but we will highly recommend you to read the guidelines for applicants that is available at that page. It's a kind of a 30-page document with all the eligibility criteria and the evaluation criteria that you should definitely read before going to the 3rd step of preparing your proposal using one of the official templates that we also provide in this same page. It's very important for applicants to use them. And of course, submit the application before the deadline, before the 24th of January on the F6S platform. If you have any questions, you will also see in this page, web page, information about frequently asked questions, but also an online Q&A that you can use to ask all your questions if you have any regarding the submission or one of the challenge. We are here to support you to submit a successful application before the 24th of January. So in total, we have 1.2 million euros to distribute in this open call to co-create pilots with public organizations and to talk a little bit more deeper on the context of co-creating pilots with public organizations. I will pass the word to Jorge for the roundtable of co-creation of innovative solutions, the buyer and the supplier perspectives. Don't forget to that at the end of the session, we'll have a part for Q&A that you will be able to ask all your questions about the open call. Jorge Gonzalez, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Miguel. So I am the director of TBiomed. We are a member of the Innovaya Consortium. We are an association that promotes demand-driven co-creation, which is Innovaya is about. As Miguel has said, we have identified a number of challenges, and those organizations are called challengers. We have 2 of them here in the webinar, and we put together these challengers with what we call solvers. That I guess the majority of you are this kind of suppliers with innovative solutions that they want to propose a solution to the challenge identified by the challenge. Okay, so the plan of this roundtable is that we are going to introduce the viewpoint of the 2 challengers. And then we will pass the word to one solver with a lot of experience in demand-driven co-creation. And then the idea is that we have this debate, this open space where you can put your questions and you can get, and then the panelists can get the answers. If you have any question regarding procedures, maybe that can be done also in that part, but also we will ask you to put that in writing so everybody can benefit that and put when we answer in the website. Now, let's get to the choice. And so I want to introduce to Isabel for Fundación Progreso de Salud and to give some insights about her challenge at the map.
Hello, everyone. I think you can hear me and see me as well. First of all, I would like to thank the Innovayor team to give us the opportunity to be part of this very insightful webinar. Now I will share my screen just with slides to help me to give you some insights about what we are trying to do here with our challenge. Miguel already, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Miguel already summed up a bit what we want to do, and also you have all the information on the website. So I won't explain it again in detail, but just to tell you a little bit more about how we are. We are part of the Fundación Pública Andaluza Progreso y Salud, which is in the south of Spain, in Andalusia. It belongs to the Regional Ministry of Health and Consumer Affairs of the region. And if you, for those of you that may not know it, Andalusia is one of the biggest regions in Europe, and actually it has the biggest healthcare system in Europe, because we have 8.4 million inhabitants here. Our healthcare system is composed of more than 1,500 primary care centers, almost 50 hospitals, and we have more than 120,000 employees in the system. So, because Andalusia is a huge region, what we are trying to do here in the Public Procurement of Innovation Office, which is part of the Fundación Pública Andaluza Progreso y Salud, FPS, we are trying to promote the public procurement of innovation in health in the region. To do so, we have a strategy, which is the Public Procurement of Innovation in Health program. And following this strategy, we are trying to promote the adoption, the implementation of public procurement of innovation in health projects in the region. But before doing that, before getting to the point of the implementation of PPI projects, we are trying to identify the needs that the healthcare system may have, and that will eventually end up with these PPI projects. To do so, we have an initiative which is called the Early Demand Map. In this initiative, we are trying to collect the innovation needs that our healthcare system has. And we are trying to do it in an innovative and open way, in which we collect people from different centers, hospitals, researchers centers of the region. We talk to them, we see what are their innovation needs. We try to discuss about what they want to achieve on their specific fields of the healthcare system. But we are trying to look for needs that are not solved by any market and by any solution that is already in the market. So now the process is that we do these presential workshops with them, with these professionals from the healthcare system in the very first place, and then with professionals from another sectors such as SMEs or universities or patients associations, etc. We try to discuss with them the innovation needs that they have in the health center that they belong to. Having said that, what we are trying to achieve now with the EDIMAP challenge is to get a management tool that will allow us to digitalize the early demand map. We want to digitalize how this process is done currently, which is done, how I have said, by these presential workshops in Andalusia. If we do that, we will be able to move from static formats to more dynamic ones. And for our organization, it's very important to get this challenge solved, because we think that this will help us to transform the healthcare system into a more innovative and disruptive system. And to do so, we are trying to anticipate the needs that the healthcare provider may have. I put here the specific objectives of the challenge, but you can read it on the website. Just to sum up a bit, for the last part of this presentation, I would like to share with you that in 2023, we have it has been the year of the configuration of this early demand map. In last year, we have done 8 different workshops in 8 different cities of the regions. And we have gathered together more than 500 people from many different sectors. And in these workshops, we have collected around 40 innovation needs. So 2023 has been the year of this configuration of the early demand map. But for 2024, we want to achieve its digitalization, because we think that it will allow us to accelerate the compilation of the needs, and therefore to be able to implement public procurement of innovation projects sooner, very much sooner. And just to end the presentation, I just would like to share with you 2 ideas that I think that we think that are very much important and that are a benefit of our challenge. And also a business opportunity for the SMEs that could be part of this co-creation process. One of them is the high commitment of our organization to get this challenge solved somehow, because our regional Ministry of Health really support this initiative, the early demand map initiative. And the other thing that I would like to share is the scalability of the potential of the solution that would solve the challenge, because a solution like that, a tool that digitalizes an early demand map, we know that it's interesting for another regions of Spain, another regions of Europe, and also for maybe private entities that are working for this identification of ideas that and the configuration of a map with innovation needs that will eventually end up, we hope, as successful PPI projects. So I think that is enough for myself.
Thank you very much, Isabel. We will have the chance to answer more questions in the Q&A. I would like to give the word to Adrián now. Adrián is also working for a challenger, yet another healthcare organization, in this case, Hospital del Sureste. Adrián, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jorge. Good morning, everyone. I'm working for a public hospital in Spain. It's a medium-sized hospital, and I'm going to briefly introduce our challenge. What we're trying to do is to bring forecasting to the outpatient department of a public hospital. What is the outpatient department? It's where the appointments between the medical staff and the patients take place, and you have to schedule those appointments. Until now, we're providing these schedules manually. What we are trying to do is to provide an algorithm that tries to automate the way that we provide the schedules to the patients, because we want to, in a way, forecast the demand to create a supply that can meet that demand. That's easier to explain with an example. Imagine a supermarket that doesn't know how many apples they have to buy in order to provide data to the potential customers. That's what we're doing right now. We cannot forecast how many appointments of which specific services we provide to the patients. And the problem with that is that in the end, we end up with some services that are overflow with patients, and the patient have to wait for extended period of times. And in other services, we don't have enough demand to even meet the supply, and then those appointments go to waste. That's have a huge impact for a public organization like us. Not only money and in a financial way, because we're wasting a lot of resources sometimes, but also for the quality of the service we provide. We don't want our patients to wait much longer than they should wait. I think that this is a good opportunity for potential servers to apply for our challenge, because that's a new line of business that has never been attempted in, at least in Spain, before. So it could be a way to open a new line of business that could in the future provide many benefits for a potential solver. We have a solid technical staff that can provide anything data related, and a data engineer myself, and we have a solid knowledge of the clinical process behind all these problems in the patient department. So I think we are a good team, and with the help of the solver, we can crack this nut, and this will be a very successful project, and we will be able to extend the solution to many hospitals that share the same problem in Spain and in other regions of Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, Adrian. And now we move to what we call the solver. Okay, so we have challengers, those organizations like Fundación Progreso Salud and Hospital de Sureste, that they have proposed a challenge. And now the majority of you would like to propose solutions to the Innovaya challengers. So we have here with us two colleagues that they work for the same company, Nomon, that they have a lot of experience in doing exactly that, participating in what is called demand-driven co-creation projects. And they what we have asked them is to share with you tips, lessons learned, good practices, risks, etc. So I'm going to give the word first to Leah, and then Alessandra will take over. Leah?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation in this very interesting webinar. So let me share my screen. I guess we can see it. So Nomon Informatics is a company based in Greece with 30 years of experience. We are mostly activated in the domain of e-health solution and services, assisted living, and bespoke development services. Our main product is eHealth Pass, a patient-centered platform, which is mostly based on the remote patient monitoring concept. So far, and after the experience we have after so many years and many different successful projects that we have been leading and also participating, the co-creation concept is always the highest priority. Therefore, there are risks and challenges that we are facing. Some of them actually depend on the case of the specific project, while some other have to deal with the bottlenecks that we meet every single time. Here we can see just some random examples of the experience we have with specific projects dealing either with specific condition and chronic diseases or other situations that have to deal with more general issues overall the health domain. So one of the important risks we usually meet is that we must deliver a user-friendly solution since the end users always vary in terms of age, but also in terms of health and digital literacy skills, cultures, and stuff like this. And since most of the solutions refer to a remote management system, keeping in mind that perhaps we have to deal with rural areas is also a concern that we try not to forget. So additionally, what we usually see is that all the involved stakeholders, patients, healthcare professionals, hospitals, and even caregivers have the doubt that the solution we are suggest to be used should provide a high privacy and security level. And it's good that it could be a solution that could be used while traveling and moving to different places. So here it comes to the interoperability issues and how to support its cross-border scenario that may come up. So on the other hand, every time we meet many different requirements and characteristics. This depends according to the disease we have to deal, the condition, the different characteristic of a national health system, the countries and their daily routine. So we try to deliver a solution that could be scalable and modular. It comes out that usually we have to deal with very tight timelines also when we have to deliver the prototypes. So there is an extra bottleneck here when we have to deal with some administrative and other procedures that are quite time consuming, such as creating a protocol that should be validated also by ethical committees, etc. And last but not least, although always at the beginning, it seems quite easier to find and depict the people that are willing to take part in these co-creation procedures. Actually, when it comes to action, it's quite difficult to make them stay engaged with this activity so that we can have a more effective outcome and deliver a solution that can be sustainable and cost-effective. So this is a small insight from our side regarding the overall experience and demand-driven co-creation, but Alex can share also his thoughts and ideas and ways of how to manage these risks.
Hello, everyone, from me as well. So Leah mentioned more or less the different issues that we find in this co-creation procedure. So as a company, we have been experimenting in developing solutions than the one that we have since almost 10 years now. This co-creation procedure is also very enlightening for a company that wants to build a product that is aligned with the real needs. So this was the initial idea, and that's why we have participated in many, let's say, PCP procedures funded by the Commission as one example of possibilities where you can have co-creation methodologies applied, like procurement of innovation, but also with some specific customers that we have. We have been working a lot with patient associations, especially in Greece, in our home country, but also in other countries. So trying to co-design a solution, trying to solve real-life problems instead of focusing on solving technological issues. Usually this is not the main goal of the end user. The end user wants really to solve his own problems. So I think this is where the co-creation approach is very interesting and very important. Now, Leah mentioned some of the difficulties and technicalities that we found. A lot of them are related to the organizational and administrative part. A lot of things are regulated, some things are not allowed. You need to do this properly with proper consent mechanism from the beginning. And then you need to see how to align the classical implementation phases of a solution, of a system, like design, implementation, and piloting. And you need to put co-creation sessions in all three of them for different reasons. So at the beginning, of course, during the design phase, you avoid to make big mistakes. And usually the mistakes companies do is that we usually tend to over-engineer the solutions, which is something that when you get into contact with the real patients and citizens, you see that you need to do this step by step. You cannot put too much functionality from the beginning. Then when you use co-creation sessions during the implementation phase, you can align your agile development and make corrections in the right way, avoiding excessive costs at some point of time. And obviously during the piloting, it's important to test the solution. So those can be tested in vitro with, let's say, patients that are acting as testers for your solution, but also in real pilots. And then this is where most of the issues come up, because if you want to test your solution in a real life environment for a specific period of time, then you have to follow the European regulations about security and privacy, about the medical device regulation, especially if it's a mobile application. This might mean that you fall into the category that you are considered as a medical device. But also all these informed consent and this GDPR regulation that are very, very important. Hopefully next year, and that's we will need to see how this is going to be materialized in real life. There is a new regulation about the European health data space that will most probably be voted by the European Parliament, which hopefully will regulate in the same way a lot of those issues for primary and secondary use of data in European member states. So we hope that this will also somehow affect the innovation processes. We don't know exactly how, but hopefully a lot of issues that we as a company, but also other innovative companies have faced in the last 10 years will probably fast track a lot of the issues and the problems we found. A last point I think is important is the issue of standardization and interoperability, because if you want to focus on a very specific small market or a very specific solution, this might not be so important. But if you want to have a solution that can be ported from one environment to another, from one country to another, or from one use case to a slightly different use case, then you need to use standards like HL7, FHIR, and other standards to ensure that you can ensure data portability for your patients or the people that you will create the solution for, either clinicians or patients. So those for me are some important things. Hopefully the interoperability solution will also somehow be regulated through the implementation in Europe on what is called the European Electronic Healthcare Record Exchange format, which means that a lot of clinical documents and information will be required to be kept in a similar approach across member states. This is a vision and a goal for the next 5 to 10 years. But someone that creates solutions, I think they should focus on having this by design. So try to be aligned with those European policies. This, I think, will facilitate a lot the penetration of the solutions in the future European digital health market, let's say. So with that, I think we could potentially see if there are any questions. I don't know. I will give back the floor to the organizers.
Leah, we have a number of questions, but a lot of them are about procedure. Miguel will take care of them by the end of this debate when I hand over to him. But I will take this question about if any medical mobile app needs to be certified as a medical device. During the project lifetime, no. Okay, so we don't expect that. As you may recall, the co-creation time is 10 months, so it's not feasible. Now, having said that, obviously, the more that you think in the future, the better for you. So if you design and execute an app, if you take into account that hopefully this is going to be certified, the more you align the development of your app in order to be certified, the better for you in the future. So let me also, now that this introduces like one added value of Innovire is that we plan to give support both to the challenger and the solver in order to see what happens after the co-creation, if the co-creation is successful. What I mean is that we see a lot of projects that they are co-creations, pilots, that they are successful, everybody's happy, but then there is no adoption, okay? And all work is kind of wasted. So within Innobuyer, we are going to deliver support so that if everything works, then there is life after the pilot. This will not be paid by Innobuyer itself, but some of the challenges they have already reserved budget for do the adoption of the solution if that's successful and they're happy with it. Now, before we move to the general procedural aspects of the work, I would like to ask Alex. I'm sure that you have situations where maybe the cultures between the challenger and the solver were not aligned, or they were different, or there were issues. Can you please give us some insights on what happened, maybe, and especially how to solve these situations?
So you are right. So what you usually face in this type of approach is that the people that implement, that usually have an idea of trying to solve a problem, don't have the same vision and same culture as you mentioned with the people that have the clinical problem. So it is sometimes challenging to try to address that. That's why I mentioned that you need to start the co-creation approach, hopefully if the process allows you, because sometimes if you do this in a very tight procurement cycle, and even the PCP methodology is very tight, which means that even if we wanted to have more interactions, sometimes we're not allowed to have interactions with the end, let's say, a patient association or clinical association or hospital that was the counterpart. But if you manage to have this session early on from the design phase and do workshops about co-defining the use case, the business use case. So at the beginning, you should try to not talk about technology, if we are going to use this technology or the other technology. Usually the technological aspect is a facilitator, and this is not the end goal of solving the solution. What will solve the solution is trying to really understand the problem and what you need to solve. So in that case, there are different issues that you might view, especially if you participate in a process that you need to solve the same solution, some problem with different end users, meaning if you are in a European project or a funded mechanism of some type that has pilots in 2 or 3 different countries, then you will see that the solutions and even everything is slightly different from country to country, and then you have to find a way to adapt. So usually things will work on one hand if they are simple, and then you can escalate and add complexity as you go, but not focus on having all the complexity at the beginning, in a way to try to solve the cultural problems. And you need to adapt your solution to what the end user needs. And this is sometimes the tricky part in this co-creation approach.
Okay.
So culture is one thing, language is another, but a lot of things that are different is sometimes the user, they are affected by the regulation. And that's why I was said that hopefully a European regulation could align us all a little bit more, and this will facilitate the innovation process as well somehow.
Right, and when you have prepared a number of proposals for these PCPs, in our case, this is a simpler approach. This is not so long as an European Commission one, and it's only one challenge and solver. But what is the tips for preparing a proposal to make it very competitive and appealing?
I would say 2 main things. One is focus on describing the problem that needs to be solved properly. Try to create a small roadmap. Sometimes it's not easy to, especially if those are small quick win projects that have a few months of implementation. If you over-engineer, sometimes you won't achieve your goals. So it's better to create something simpler that can be piloted and used than focusing on the complex system that will solve everything. So having a roadmap is the second approach. So try to implement your steps, do something, show it to the user, test it, then add a new feature and do it piece by piece. I think this is how.
But in terms of
Alex,
in terms of proposal writing itself, as the proposal when you write, I know it to be appealing for the committee that is selecting the proposal. What would be, I mean, because the proposal has already the different sections that need to be applied, and they need incorporate excellence, they incorporate the team, they incorporate
correct.
And any added value on top of what is the usual
I think if you want to persuade that you are the right entity to find a solution to a problem, I think we need to answer it in two different ways, because in this call that you described earlier, you have two calls. One is predefined calls, which means this is a beauty contest. You have to understand the specific challenge and reply to it. So obviously their experience is important. If you can find ways and make sure that your solution can be measurable, so try to put some KPIs or how you're going to measure the success of your solution, because it needs to be practical. So if this is the one case, then I think the important thing is to put in your proposal that you have really understood the problem, how you're going to implement it, that you have done something similar, probably, hopefully, somewhere else in the past. I think this is an important criteria. And do something that is measurable, because at the end of the day, you need to be practical. On the other part, which is an open challenge approach, then you have, I think, a little bit more flexibility. And then you can even propose approaches and methodologies, I guess, of how you're going to organize the solution. So because then you describe the problem and you describe the solution. You describe two things, in fact, not one. So in the other, you just have the solution, the problem already somehow described, and you just have to propose a solution. So.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alex. I'm going to put a kind of similar question, but the other way around, to Isabel. Okay, Alex has mentioned that this is a beauty context. I think it's very well put. And then what, Isabel, we in Innovaya, we have a criteria, a selection criteria, eligibility and selection criteria, and this is going to be the base. But in your particular case, for your particular challenge, what will be the added value of the perfect or the most handsome solver for your challenge? What will be this added value that you will really like to see?
Well, I think that for the perfect, the more handsome solver for our challenge would definitely should definitely have experience on IT solutions, because what we would like to co-create is this management tool that allows the digitalization of the early demand map. But that's the basic. But what we think that would really add value would be that if this solver could have experience on open and innovative methodologies that like design thinking, or like methodologies that are aligned with the philosophy of the digital of the early demand map. And also, of course, another thing that would add value to this solver would be the experience on the health sector. Even though the solution is perfectly adaptable, would be perfectly adaptable to another sectors, if the solver has experience on the healthcare system, or have already worked with different healthcare systems from different countries or from Spain, it doesn't matter. I think that would be also another thing to have into account, and for sure another thing that would add value to the solver proposal.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Isabel. Adriana, I'm going to put you the same question.
Okay. And with our project, I think the more added value would be if the solver has experience with IT transformation. We are trying to transform a process that are currently done manually into something digitalized. It has been mentioned before. there's a different mindset between the public solvers and the public challengers and the solvers. So I think in that case, most of the work is on our shoulders. We have to know how to adapt to an external way of thinking that we are not really used to. We are in the public sector. We usually work with different timelines and different strategies. So I mentioned that the IT transformation part. I think that in our specific case, most of the translation between those two worlds is in our shoulders, and our team can provide a lot of that because we have experience in consultancy before. Some of the team have worked in consultancy, some have worked with private enterprises before. So there's no a very strong prerequisite to apply to a challenge such as our challenge, because excluding that part of the IT transformation, I think almost any SME could apply to these kind of projects. And in some way, that's good for the company too, because they can learn a lot about how we work, and they can learn how to apply to more projects in the future, or apply to for a future public procurement. There's a mutual learning in the process. We can learn a lot about how the private sector works, but they can learn about how we work and how to improve our processes, and we can provide that. I think that's important to say too. But I answer to your question. I think a solid IT transformation background is important in that case.
But still, I read, Adrian, that willingness to learn and adapt to also to how public administration works should be a must.
Yeah.
From what you say. Okay, I'm going to ask you, all the participants, to give a last round of insights or comment, very, very short, a tweet before we move to the next section. Okay, but before I want two things. I want to encourage everybody to give some kind of this kind of more conceptual questions on the process, like we have been discussing now, and then we will move to the procedural ones. Okay, so if you have any more questions, especially for the panelists, if you want to say, I have a question for, I don't know, Adrian, Isabel, or Leah, please put it in the Q&A now before we move to the next one. And then I want to answer a question regarding from a participant that basically talks that they have a product and they want to see if they can fit. Okay, as a concept, what we are trying to do in Innobuyer is to do the other way around. Okay, we are trying to, what we do is that we identify a challenge and then we look for a solution. I understand that you guys from the solver side, from the small and medium enterprise side, you already have something and you want to see if that fits into the challenge. But do not, my suggestion, and again, this goes with the proposal, do not try to squeeze your technology into the challenge. So try to be open-minded and try to say, okay, I have this basic technology solution, and I think that by twisting it, okay, I can solve your challenge. And this twist means that we both work together to make it my technology to solve your challenge. So this is not a selling context. They are not going to take your solution out of the cell. You need to prove to them that you are willing to take your solution, adapt it to their challenge, okay? Because we also have seen that in the past, okay? That there are people, it's very human, try to sell what they have to the minimum effort. But usually this doesn't work because what these challenges need is something very specific. So it's better to come with the approach saying, okay, you have this challenge, I have this solution. It is not 100% what you need, but I'm willing to make it round with you during the co-creation. That's a much better approach. Okay, so don't be lazy, just put the the functionals of your solution in the proposal and just hoping that because your solution is so great, they are going to buy it immediately, okay, or they are going to agree with it immediately. You need to really understand the challenge, and you then in the proposal say, this is your challenge, I understand. I have this percentage of your challenge covered with my actual technology. and the rest, we are going to work it together to get it done. And here is how we are going to do between my current technology to complete your challenge, so the solution that your challenge needs. Okay, so hopefully that helps to the participant that put that question and all the others. So this is not about selling your technology that you already have. This is about solving the challenge together in a win-win approach. Okay, I think that very quickly, Clara, you have also not participated, and Clara is from Fundación Proceso. Do you want to give a last-minute tweet, and it's an insight, proposal, suggestion, whatever?
No, for me, can you hear me? Yes. No, for me, everything is okay. And the information given by Isabel is, I think, is quite enough.
So you basically are looking
No,
forward
I don't
to
have
get
anything else to say.
as many good proposals as possible to find your
Yes.
smart prince like Cinderella. Okay, so Isabel, I don't know, you want to close? I mean, you don't have to do it. Just if you want to say, actually, I will actually encourage you to just start your video. If not, we just move to the other.
Well, for me, of course, thank you to you and to all the people here today for the interest in our proposal.
Thanks for you. Thanks to you for your trust in InnoBuyer.
Yeah.
So I don't know, someone's from Nomon, you want to say something? Leah, Alex, you want to say any last recommendations to other solvers, and when they, especially at proposal time, or anything, Leah?
Yeah, from my side, keeping in mind all these things being said today, I think that the summary is that at the end of a project and when the aim is to deliver a very good outcome that will be a future sustainable product rather than a project, we should keep in mind that a winning proposal should convince the involved stakeholders that it will be something easy to use and sustainable for the future, which means for me cost effectiveness both in terms of money and time. So we should convince, for example, the patients that by using the suggested solution they could have a better quality of life, but on the other hand we should convince the healthcare professionals that we provide them some tools to make their daily routine easier and faster, and not just adding overload to them.
Right, thanks, Leah. Alice?
Yeah, I would agree with Leah, of course, on what she recommends. I think for the proposal part, obviously, it's not in the, you don't need to put huge amount of text. I think it's the clarity of the text of what you want you are writing that is important. So better less, but of better quality than a lot of text that sometimes can create confusion to the evaluator, whoever that evaluator is. So keep it simple, as we say, and clear. I think that's the important thing. And at the end of the day, when we get it, the important is the one-to-one relation with the customer, and then everything can be solved during the co-creation process.
I think that's an excellent advice. Alexander, you have mentioned a couple of times, do not over-engineer things. This is sometimes tricky with engineers, that they like everything to be perfect, especially in our case in InnoBuyer, where we only have 10 months and 58,000 euros. It's better to get the concept right, and it's better to be, again, that everybody's happy on the fundamentals, on the minimum, and once there, then hopefully there is a out of InnoBuyer relationship where this can be even perhaps an improvement, or hopefully an adoption of the technology with resources from the challenger itself. Okay, but keep, again, a very good point in terms of do not over-engineer things. Go to the fundamentals and spend your time there, always in collaboration with the stakeholders and the end users. Isabel, do you want to mention anything?
I just wanted to say something very fast linked to the comments of Alexander, which were very interesting. Is the importance of this keep it simple, and also regarding the proposals for the solvers, I think that is very important to have this concept in mind. And as Alexander said in the presentation, the impact of the adoption of the solution is directly connected to the definition of the problem. so this definition of the problem is also a part of, I mean, how the solution proposed solved the problem. Not just the solution requirements, the technical things, but also the why this solution really solved your problem. In our case, our challenge. Just to mention that, I think it's important and can help solvers also.
Right. Again, a clear understanding what's the problem, even if the functional requirements maybe are not as concrete, but if you fully understand the problem, you may even come with a better solution that perhaps initially the challenger thought that could be. Okay, so yeah, this encouragement to really understand the problem is key in order to propose and make a good solution. Clara, you started your camera. You want to say something, or
you want to add?
Okay. No, okay. So then I will ask Adrian if he wants to mention something else, and if not, we move to the next part of the session.
Everything has been said.
Okay, fantastic. So Miguel, I pass the word to you. There are a lot of kind of procedural questions, so I hope you can manage them.
Sure, very much, Jorge. Many great tips were shared with the potential solvers that we are attending. So I think it was a really good discussion. Congratulations. Regarding the questions, so we have many questions about the rules of the call for solvers. So I will start with showing you where to find the answer really practically. So if we go to the call for solver page, you'll find at the end of it your application kit that starts with the guidelines for applicants. So if we open the guidelines for applicants, you will see most probably all the answers that you need to apply. So we had some question about, can solvers be out of EU region, which is an eligibility criteria question. So let's look at it in the table of content. We have the eligibility criteria, and we have a section explaining the eligibility criteria for people, for SMEs that want to apply for one of the challenges proposed by Innobuyer, and we have a different section for the ones who want to address the challenge not proposed by Innobuyer. But regarding the question about if a solver can be out of a EU region, we have here in this paragraph exactly that information. So only SMEs legally established in any of the following countries are eligible. So they can be established in one of the EU member states, including their outmost regions, the overseas countries and territories linked to the member states, and as well the Horizon Europe associated countries according to the list. And the list can be found in this link. And the links is Albania, Armenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Faroe Islands, Georgian. Well, you have here the entire list that countries that are not from the EU that can apply as well. So we had many questions regarding that. I think on the guidelines for applicants in this section 4.1, you can find everything related to this type of eligibility criteria questions. Then we have another one about what will be the criteria. So after the eligibility criteria, we have the, let me go down, the evaluation criteria. So your proposal, if eligible, will be assessed by two experts, and the evaluation will be done based on this criteria: excellence, alignment, commitment, and implementation and value for money. And you can find here in this section 5 a description and also the weighting that is associated with that criteria. Then we have another question. The proposed solution for a challenge will be owned by the solver or challenger, or both. So here again in the guidelines, we have a section on intellectual property, section 9.5, and that outlines the conditions. So the conditions regarding intellectual property rights of challengers and solvers will be defined in pilot co-creation agreements. But in general, the following principles must be respected. And so I'm going to read this because it's very important. They must give each other, solver and challenge, the background identified as needed for implementing the pilot. Then each solver will own the foreground it generates, and also the foreground jointly generated with the challenge in the context of a pilot co-creation implementation. So the purpose of Innovio is really to empower the solver to create new solutions that can be then sold to the challengers with whom they will be working for 10 months. But after that, also give the solver the opportunity to sell that new developed product to others, to other public organizations or private organizations. So I think this answered the question as well on property. We have another question about, I think, the eligibility of companies established eventually in Kosovo. Again, you should look at the section on the list of the countries that are there on the guidelines for applicants. There's another question. Do we have access to potential user before proposal submission? That's a good question, and the answer is no. To make sure that for transparency reasons and to make sure that all the applicants have access to the same level of information, the proposal should be based on the information publicly available on the Innovio website, meaning the description of each challenge that is provided on the Innovio website and as in PDF as well. So all your proposal should be based on that and not on additional information that you might get otherwise. And let me check the list, but I think I covered them all. We have someone that says, I would like to ask a question about Open Challenge. Could you please write down that question? And please don't hesitate, all the attendees who are with us now to ask other questions. Let me also grab this opportunity to show you that you can use the frequently asked question page on the Innovio website, which answers many of the questions related to the open call, how to participate, how does the evaluation process work, granted applicants, etc. And you also have an online Q&A on F6S where we answer questions live to applicants. So let me check again if we have. I have a solution that is very general, but not among the challenge provided. So if it's not among the challenge provided, you can eventually apply for the open challenge track. But in this case, your SME should be previously or currently funded by the European Innovation Council in one of their programs. Is it possible for a solver to apply for more than a challenge? Good question. So let's go back to the guidelines for applicants. And we have here section 5.1.4.1.5, multiple submission. And that says that only one proposal will be accepted for funding per applicant. So, this is in line with the answer that you should only submit a proposal for one challenge and actually one proposal at all for the Innovio program. Following question, I am not an EIC beneficiary. Is there any way to work out this application? If you are not an EIC beneficiary, then you can only apply for one of the ready-made challenge that are proposed by Innovio. That will be the only way to apply for this call. Are startups encouraged to apply? Yes, definitely. The eligible applicants are small and medium-sized enterprise. So startups are really fit in that description. So the entire question is, are startups encouraged to apply? I understand that the experience is an important factor. So you may be saying that your startup is really new, that in itself the organization don't have experience, but I believe the people in them could have experience to showcase in the proposal. So I would see it as a problem if it's well explained in the proposal. I'm not receiving any AIC grant, but I would like to apply for open challenge. It's not possible. Only EIC applicants can apply for the open challenge track. Sorry, Jorge, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
This question, something that I would like to stress from previous experiences is like, don't go to these calls just for the money. Okay, so if this challenge that is proposed is not aligned with your company strategy, and you have little, and you don't think that this will be follow-up, even if the solution is successful, it's a waste. Okay, you will get the money and you will work for 10 months, but maybe there are better opportunities for you. So I really encourage to think, and if this really makes sense before applying. Okay, again, I've been also working on SME, and every source of money, it's good, but it will be such a waste for you and also for the challenger to have something, and then you have the pilot right, and then nothing happens after the end. You don't develop the solution because you take this as a service, not as a business opportunity, and then all the effort is wasted. Say, yeah, I take the money. Yeah, you take the money, but maybe you could have been invested that time in something better. Okay, so my suggestion is that, and especially because you can only take one challenge, it's like, make this question, do I really want this challenge to become my business strategy, align in my business strategy? Because if you have doubts, my suggestion is don't go for it, wait for a better opportunity. So, and we can tell, we as the part of the selection committee, we can tell if someone is there only for the money, or if they are because they see, they foresee that this is a business opportunity. Okay, this is throwing stones against us because we would like to have the biggest number of applicants, because then we can say to European Commissions we are doing a great job. But to be honest, and be fair with all the ecosystem, only if you think that this is going to become part of your business strategy, apply. Otherwise, it's an opportunity cost.
Thank you very much for the clarification. Next question. NGOs are eligible to apply. So, well, here in this call, we follow the definition of SMEs that is made by the European Commission, which can be quite broad, actually. So each applicant should look in the guidelines for applicants for that link to the SME definition of what is an SME, to check, to do a self-assessment against that definition to see if they are considered an SME or not. There's a guide provided by the European Commission on that, which is called the SME User Guide definition, and it helps applicants to check and do a self-assessment about if they can be considered an SME or not for this call.
Miguel, can I answer the last one?
Sure.
For this person that is assisting, listen, this program has been designed to be demand-driven in co-creation. What you're proposing is a technology push, which is perfectly fair, but this doesn't fit with our program, with what Innovaya. For technology push options and to get public funding for technology push, you have a lot of grants at regional, national, an European level. For example, EIC is a great opportunity for them. But this program is demand-driven co-creation. And if it is, and the open challenges are only for EIC. We didn't put the rules of the game. This was the poll of the European Commission. Okay, so try to understand that if you have a technology push solution, either my best approach will be that you try to sell it directly, better than looking for grants, or if you still need money to develop the innovation, there are other better instruments to do so, again, at regional, national, and European level. So don't try to fit squares into circles with this program, because it will not work. We don't want to waste your time. We don't want to waste your time. So try to understand this. It's not that we don't want you. It's that the model that we propose doesn't fit what you are proposing us. Sorry, Miguel, go ahead.
Thank you for the help, Jorge. I think it's important to really clarify that the open challenge track is only available for EIC companies that were previously or currently funded by the EIC. I think we covered all of them. So I would like to get to the end of this session, actually, and thank all the participants, EIC representative, Bertrand, all our great moderator, Jorge from TPMed, and all the panelists in the round table. Just as a last message for all the solvers who are still here, submit your application before the 24th of January, before 17 Central European time. That's very important for you. All the information submitted after that will not be accepted. Actually, you will not be able to submit your proposal after that. Just to remind you that this is a great opportunity to get up to 58,500 euros equity free to co-develop a pilot with public organizations during a period of 10 months, and that you have the opportunity here to create a new business line with real potential customers. So thank you very much for joining us today. This webinar will be shared on our social media channels, and don't hesitate to use the support tools that we have for the open call to reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a nice day.